This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Sarlacc Digest, a community bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 225, being recorded on, what is today? September 6th, 2023. I am your host, Dark Butcher. I got Scott Solo.
What's up, nerds?
Bootleg Joe is finally here. Good to see you, man.
¿Cómo estás, nerds?
Grand Admiral Franz is here.
I am here. Hello.
Woo! And of course,
holy Anakin Skywalker. Sorry,
I'll be down.
Ernie is not here today, so everybody, we'll just give him a wave. What's up, Ernie? Don't work so hard. So, well, like the intro said, we're here to bring you line talk and digest some Ahsoka. I almost spoiled the ending. But before we get into all that good stuff, of course, we have our pit that's being digested, ready to be shouted out, but also we have our Patreons to be shouted out. So Scott, take over for a second there.
You got it, man. Okay, let that Motrin kick in, man. So, hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us, and a special shout out and thank you to our Patreon crew. Thanks to all of you, we've been able to keep this bad boy rolling through all these amazing episodes of Ahsoka. And I mean, come on. It's been pretty freaking epic so far. So with that, a special shout out to AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Cliff, Brandon and Anya Appler, yeah, Dennis McGrath, Don the Dot, Dorn, Dawn and Brady, and I'm just going to go into random accents while I speak. So, Dawn and Brady, the Escape Pod podcast. Eric Rubb, Flavy Davy, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude. Gavin Connor of the Holy Hour All Cure podcast. Justin the Vanilla Thunder. Mervine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Ryan, and the Star Joes podcast. That was all over the place. I apologize to your ear holes, but you guys have no idea how much we appreciate all of you. If you want to become a member of the Patreon crew, scan that QR code, drop us a couple of bucks a month. We'd really appreciate it. You also have the opportunity to drop, the super chats in there. Like, let me see. I think somebody just did that. Let me see. Let's scroll down here on the other page.
I got this.
You got this?
Julianne with $10. People, greetings. I may need a freaking hug after this and that episode. Oh, virtual hugs all around. Come, I mean, this we gotta talk, man. We gotta talk. But thank you, Julianne, so much for that. That are much appreciated. Much appreciated. So, Scott, continue with the pit because they're anxious, man. We gotta get going.
There, and they've been in there for like an hour already. So we've got Miss Sunflower, we've got Julianne in there, we've got Darth Josepher, we've got Papa Schmitty, we've got Matt Logic, Gordon, Tim Van Glider, Don the Dead, Dorn, Gavin Connor, Lunar Girl is in there. Good grief, we got a full house. Let's see who else. Bootleg Joe. Wait a minute, he's right there. So yeah, everybody else in there, give us a shout. We'll put your name up and we'll shout out your name. So what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining.
That's right. And I gotta say that I even put it in our chat and in the description and this thing to below to let me know if you agree. But didn't we just kind of like witness the Empire Strikes Back of live action Star Wars? This being like, I'm glad I'm wrong on this because I even told this into the chat and Chris was like, nope, all killer, no filler. And this is exactly how it's supposed to be. Because I said, I was kind of expecting a filler episode of being episode 4, right? Like, the build up to whatever we're getting at. And hey, I love being wrong. I'm most pleased with absolutely, going back and going like, okay, thank you, Dave Filoni. Thank you, Star. Thank you guys for doing this in this the energy going on in this show so far.
He's opened it up crazy, right? Like he went with his toys and went ape shit this week.
Yeah,
shit. Said, go for it. Go fully animated. Take it wild, be crazy, and blow their minds. And that's what he's doing right now. And to your I think like you said, the Empire Strikes Back bit. I was telling you after a few watches, I'm still thinking this is my favorite live action.
Okay, I brought that up to somebody today about that, and in Mandalorian, it's very hard to beat because of what it did and what it introduced by Grogu and just a new environment.
But each one of those was a snippet, right?
Yes,
each one of those things was a part of the episode. The Grogu was kind of neat in the beginning, or the first episode kind of neat in the beginning, then you see Grogu, right? And each week it was a cool Grogu moment, right? Or some cool moment. But it wasn't like front to back, beginning to end, A to Z, badass, awesome episode where I sat through this episode worried about it for some reason, right? Like, okay, this is supposed to be a big episode. What if it sucks? This is kind of where it's going, right? Like, you're in that part. And then I didn't stop doing this, like grinning, like, oh my God. Yeah. And going, whoa.
The impact like, on every dialogue, every shot, every scene, every plot, everything that's going on, the impact of it on Star Wars, like we said, where we look for those moments in these shows that what it means for everything else, and then of course, like I even said this before, like was like even after Ahsoka series is done, we're gonna have, we don't need another show after this. We're gonna have 3 months of still finding out what the hell just happened. You know what I mean? I think we're still gonna, and
we're not gonna get all the answers because the movie's called Heir to the Empire. Right. So it's going to be this and 3 other shows or 4 other shows and then the movie. We're not going to get any kind of resolution.
Yeah. Mr. Scott Dubb, R.I.P. Ray Stevenson. You solidified yourself as a badass fallen Jedi.
That he better finish his arc.
I cannot express that enough. Like that comment right there. I cannot with this episode. The more I watch, I just like, wow.
Sorry, Darth Josepher.
Yes, I'm getting right now. Darth Josepher with a $5. Thank you so much. Ordered the Pit Crew shirt from the merch store. Thanks, fellas, for such a great show. Much love. I'm going to represent the show up here in Cincinnati. Thank you. Oh, yes, we have a base in Cincinnati now. Hell yeah, let's go.
Nice.
I'll come out there and stay on your couch.
Yeah, Miss Sunflower with your Marrok theory sucks. So we're gonna get into that too because there's so much going on and so much talk going on. Too,
Nothing's debunked yet.
Nothing's debunked yet. I don't care
completely.
What you say. We can talk.
We're still holding out hope.
Yeah, we could talk ourselves into anything on this show, right? So
give me a minute.
Mr. Scott Dubb again. This episode might be actually the best Star Wars I've been given in my adult life. Yeah. And we're 4 episodes in, and what Chris was saying, how like if episode 5 is supposed to pop off, I'm just like, I don't know if I can contain myself.
Yeah,
they're having they're having
it's gotta
screenings.
Be Thrawn.
Yeah. I mean, they're having screenings. Nothing local. Okay, we can't. Not even in LA, but they're actually popping up all over the place, having screenings of episode 5 of Ahsoka. So, and I even said, I was like, where the hell is the show going, man? Are we? If really...
this wasn't the one you're going to put on a screen, right? How many fights did we have in this one? If you were going to have
it
one,
was episode 3 of fights, right? Like, you know, of the Revenge of the Sith, of just like lightsaber fights, man.
If they're going to show this one on a screen, I'm wondering how long it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good.
You would think at least an hour, right? You would.
Yeah, you're right about that too, right? You know, the short episodes seem to give us the most impact. You know, this was like 35 minutes minus the credits and all that stuff, and it did a lot. Same thing with the last episode. It was like 35 minutes, and it did a lot. You know.
Yeah.
Episode 5 is directed by Dave, right? Dave.
Oh, you know what? That's a cool point. Why they would be putting it on a screen to kind of give him a vibe on directing for a big screen, like practice. Yeah. This is what you guys are going to get. This is like a setup for that movie type of thing. This
they did
with Dave.
They did the 2-episode premiere too in theaters, and he directed those as well. So
there you go. Oh, they did the front ones. Oh, cool.
That was supposed to be like the red carpet premiere, right? Where no actors showed up, and because of the strike and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, going here, Julianne is also.
That wasn't like open to the public like this one.
No, it wasn't supposed to be.
Special invite. That was a special invite.
Right. Yeah. Julianne also, what the Ahsoka series proves that other series, what other series didn't. People thrive for flashbang action, not plot lines or many different directors doing their own thing. That loses people. To a point. Yeah, I mean,
there's a pretty solid plot line going, but it's simple enough to where I know. Look, we found a map. I got a bunch of bad guys. You got a crew. We're trying to go here to get this bad guy to start a war. It's not overly complicated.
Right.
Which is right. And we got great music going on. We got great villains, great heroes, great ships, great fights, great battles.
I'm confident with like a lot of stuff. I mean, we've yet to see the Ezra, Thrawn, and other people come into the mix of this thing. But again, everything that we've been going on and the sentiment of what Dave Filoni told us beforehand about this show being like, it brought tear to his eyes, even the show he brought to the screen, and he was watching like the whole thing. And I remember him saying this is like, it was magic. It was just magic. And he was so proud of the work that went into it and the results of it before we got our first glimpse of it, you know? So always have that in the back of our mind. And we're very careful on that kind of stuff. Right. You know, a lot of the Robert Rodriguez and all these people saying like, this is going to, we're like,
filler, no filler.
And we buy into it, and then now we're on like tippy toes, you know.
This one went right, just like it's been said, right? Like said, the first 3 were going to be good. The 4th one was going to be really good. The 5th one's supposed to be nuts, and the last 3 are cruising to the end, like mad rush. Yeah. So that's how this goes. I'm everything's gone just like it said, and if everything's better than what we've got already. I can't wait. And I'm my only like if I'm negative or critical about anything, it's not has nothing to do with the usual negative critical things. It's me being angry at characters on their like, oh, why did you do that? Like that kind of stuff is where I'm like, oh my god, like Chris with Mon, right? You know, that those kind of things where it's like it's not the acting, it's not the CGI, it's not this, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe that for 25 or 30 years they let this lady run a rebellion and a freaking new republic, and she can't
let
make
Hera
a decision.
Run it.
Dude, let Jason run it. Chopper can run it. Anybody
at this point.
Yeah.
Let me share the screen real quick before we get on to the actual breakdown and show you what I found. If you are in any of these 10 cities, these are the only places you can actually find the movie playing, or the episode 5.
Actually, you can go to London too, and guess where I'm flying on Wednesday?
Are you really?
I'll be in London. So let me go to London.
Well, if you are in the US of A, we've got Boston, Chicago, Dallas, LA.
Oh, there's an LA.
One theater, the Grove 14. It's already sold out. Let me see. New York, Orlando, Florida, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, Washington, and Washington, D.C. Those are the only places in the U.S. where they are showing this particular.
This is not
episode.
Sponsored by Disney, right? It's not an official thing. It's just like a fan event where they'll stream it and project it, right? Is it? I don't know.
It's a Disney thing.
Yeah.
You would think
just
that,
super limited.
Yeah, you would think like 10 cities being an official thing.
It costs money to put things out, right? So
I get it.
You get the word out, a little bit of advertising. Look, we're going to put in 10 cities, but that gets a buzz around. We got something to put up. Like,
sure.
Man, this is good enough to be in a theater. We better watch this next week. They want it to be the most watched show next week.
Yeah.
They're just trying to build that up.
Man, I thought for sure Victor would get one.
No doubt.
I mean, we are like Tatooine, and everything happens on Tatooine, so you would think,
right?
I mean,
we write half the shows, so you would think they would let us on.
Well, it's only playing at AMC's apparently, so if you can find an AMC, which we don't have, so not that good old Victorville would.
It actually makes sense. AMC's doing some smart moves. They're the ones that are kind of like in talks with the strike to try to like bridge things. They actually made a temporary agreement to keep production going. They're doing partnering up with whatever.
Marco, we had Ahsoka today. Can you stop? What are you talking about right now?
Okay, catching up. I'm just.
What kind of tangent
You're right.
are we going to go on?
My bad.
No, nobody in the chat's here to talk about that. Everybody's here to talk about Ahsoka. Stay on track.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
It's just one of those things. Like I want to talk, but I don't want it to end. So I'm stalling.
What are you doing?
But anyway, the sentiment around the campfire is hell yeah, it was a great episode. We're halfway through. I kind of want to start the episode talk with Hera, with not Hera, but with Sabine and Ahsoka, and Ahsoka bringing up the fact of maybe we should leave Ezra lost forever if it means that it's their chance of bringing Thrawn back, right? Like the greater threat, And I'm like, so glad she brought this up, because at this point, Ezra is only important to that person back there, and Hera as like a reunion. Mm-hmm. But for the greater thing, it's like nobody cares. I don't think that many people really care. He's been gone how long and presumed dead at this point. But the only way to get to him is to get to Thrawn, and that chance of I like that it's an absolute. Like, yeah, right. If we can't have him, nobody can, type of thing. Like, it's really goes that way, and it's the smart move, right? If it's saving the galaxy, that's what Ezra did. Ezra sacrificed himself to save everybody. You don't undo what he did, to bring him back and start a whole damn ass war again. That's what it is, man. It's exactly what it is. And Ahsoka had that foresight to tell Sabine this. It's like, I hope you understand. Like, if it came down to it, if we can't get to him, then nobody should. And I'm just glad that was a point made, and Sabine's like, yeah, no problem. we got this. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But I thought that was a great kind of like intro to this, Yeah, they lit it all off there. So the whole episode was that, right? So they were just trying to stop the Eye of Sion from using the map, which was all incredible too. Yeah, 100%. So that's the first scene right there, right? And I'm sitting there grinning. I'm like, oh, I was making notes in my phone to text you guys, because I don't usually do that during an episode, by the way, right? And I texted something 2-3 things during that episode, and I never did. I was so damn excited to talk to you guys. Yeah, but I had to put in the side notes, and that was it. Ahsoka's absolute. I said, freaking A. That's awesome. I just kept going through things, and I had probably 20 things in that list by the time I erased it and really typed. it goes back. It's like it's about time somebody learns lessons and explains these lessons while repeating themselves, right? We've seen what the New Republic's doing. If they're repeating themselves, they're gonna usher in this new era of the First Order on their own dime, on their own accord. Ahsoka's, and this is why theories are gonna run crazy later on in this talk of her failures, whatever it is. We'll explore it, but I'm glad that somebody's recognizing it, and Sabine had to go and mess it up. Yeah, Mr. Scott.
We'll get to that. Oh, I love that part too. Yeah, okay, let's roll. Yeah, let's do that.
So, but we'll go into the Hera talk about Hera and Carson Teva. I mean, Carson's here.
That's our Nick Fury, right? He's going to be there somewhere, right. Which means Zeb's close. Now, in the timeline, we know this is after Mando season 2 because that's when we met Morgan, right? That's when Ahsoka captured Morgan.
Yes.
So it's after season 2. We don't know if it's up to Mando season 3. It might be right before-ish, we figure. Just trying to figure out where he's at with Zeb. I can't really tell on his markings or what or how he looks. It's really tough to tell. But this is probably I don't know if he knows Zeb yet.
Would you think though it makes sense if it would just run in the timeline that has been presented to us instead of like if this is running before season 3 of Mando, you know what I mean? Like, I know
it's gonna take time, so you can't keep doing it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of we just have to understand that the whole series will probably run concurrent with the other one. I think that's what they said. It's like somewhere within Mando season 3.
Right. Otherwise, we need a diagram to go through it all because it's getting to be a bit confusing. I mean, Star Wars has never been linear to begin with, but Jesus, this thing is. Yeah, we just saw what happened after this, but now we're watching what happened before this. But the Book of Boba Fett is somewhere up in there too.
Yeah,
because where does Book of Boba Fett fall in all this? Because she's already gotten rid of Morgan or put Morgan away. Does Book of Boba Fett fall somewhere in between here?
Oh, when he has
we need a diagram.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what? We just have to realize again. It's just kind of going all at the same time, and they'll all meet up at some point.
That's how I'm going with it. Until it's just like what Chris said. He's not wearing the right uniform or whatever it is, you know. Or, I was expecting Zeb in one of those X-wings though, but that
was I. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
The fact like that. Yeah, I was sitting there going like, why isn't Hera just? I mean, she's a general. She could do whatever she wants. Why isn't she just running the show at this point? You know, and then like the guys who followed her for a reason
because they're in a government.
Yeah,
now they're not in a rebellion. They're following orders. They got senators to answer to, everybody else to answer to now, and a chancellor doesn't answer to squat. You know.
Yeah, and Hera had the really good line: "Once a rebel, always a rebel." And I was like, well, Carson's like, "You're right."
even against your own people, right? Against your own government that you set up, you have to rebel against them. See, they broke everything. Dummies.
Zeb flies a B-wing. I know that he was in the Blue Squadron, right? That's what was the talk of it. I don't know. I don't know.
Not sure, but that would be cool when we see it.
Yep.
Yeah. Rick Jones, absolutely. Carson Teva needs a figure now that he's in 3 shows. He's in 3 of the 4 shows. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, he belongs in it at this point. Like as much, I'm telling you, because he's going to be the key to it all. He's going to bring them all together in the end.
Yeah. Exactly.
That'd be amazing. Yeah. He's doing what Wedge should have done. He is being that Wedge character.
Which is very right. Mm-hmm. See, again, every legacy character has been replaced. You can go through them all and decide who they've been replaced by. You know, throughout this whole thing.
Brendan Smith Sunflower saying, and Brendan Wayne was one of the pilots. Refresh my memory.
Wasn't he the last one? The thin white guy.
But who's Brendan Wayne? I'm drawn.
John Wayne's son, the man.
Oh, okay.
The stunt man.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Was he the one that one of the
I think he died. Gotcha. Yeah, I know the Rodian. Okay. The Rodian and one other died. Right, there were 2 left at the end. Well, 3 died, 2 were left.
Yeah. Yeah. So so Hera takes off with 5 X-wings and they go to save. To try to find out what's happening or to save the day kind of deal. With the fleet just sitting there, I'm not doing nothing, Mon's call.
Twiddling their thumbs.
Yeah. Okay, I sent this shot over because is this not the most Star Wars picture ever?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like this is Return of the Jedi. Like as soon as the screen came on, I'm all, man, we should be in a theater right now. Like this was it's all I thought was Return of the Jedi.
I agree with that. This whole thing should be. I would love for after the fact, like they just release it all into a theater and like in a theater experience, all 8 episodes, with an intermission kind of deal, and just have fun, have at it, back to back like that. That would be with
no just edited together, no breaks.
That's right. Yeah, no recaps, nothing. Just boom, 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 boom. That would be so cool. I'm wondering why they haven't done that yet. Because people would pay. I would pay. I mean, come on.
One of them hasn't been quite as linear as this. Right, like Mando was
that's true.
The weekly adventure, like a Smallville type thing, right? This is a very start to finish story. Although Andor was too, but that would have been a slog in a theater.
Yeah, exactly. Dark Joseph is asking, so do you guys think that Sabine got some crazy plan or trick up her sleeve, or just maybe she's thinking Ezra and her can fight all of them together? Well, I'm sure she assumes Ahsoka's dead.
That's part.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying we'll get to that because that's gonna be a long talk for us right there because there's a lot of things there. What's happening on that scene alone? Because again, I was kind of mad at Sabine for like you're giving all this up for Ezra. Like for Ezra's, we talked about it. Nothing. Okay, well, I'm getting ahead of myself.
There's a little bit more because I think it has to do more with Baylan and what his special power is.
Sure, foresight.
Right. No, he's in their heads, man.
Well, I thought he had the power of foresight. That's what Morgan told him.
He's a lot of mental stuff, is what I'm saying. He's like Xavier type of shit, right? He's talking about Ahsoka. It's not foresight. He knows about. I don't know if Anakin ever spoke to her. I think he was pulling the Anakin heartstring and playing. That's why you left him. That's why this. Then he's playing on Sabine's. Your master. She lied to you. She did this. How would he know that? There's no.
Isn't
way
that a Sith strong, like a Sith strong suit?
Maybe, but I mean that's like really. It's the first one we've seen really do that. Like where he was. Well, Kylo's a bit in their heads, right? In a different way. So I guess that counts. But he's like in there just manipulating them. He's like very Sith Lordian to be able to do that. That's like a Palpatine type of thing.
Sure.
That's how I saw it anyway. I don't. Maybe not. He could have completely turned her by freaking into that one thing that would trigger her. Right.
Well, that's what I was. No that's family.
But he would. But my point is, he wouldn't have known that unless he was in her head. That's his power. He goes in there and finds what would their shatter point, basically.
Well, basically, the only other ones we've seen do that is Palpatine and Snoke, right? Like
and Palpatine is Snoke
manipulating. So, Well, Palpatine.
Yeah. I have to process it all now, like because there's a scene when Baylan closes his eyes, and like kind of meditates on what he's about to tell her too.
I think he has both. I totally think he can see foresight too. But I'm just saying when he sensed her coming, he threw Anakin out there just to throw her off her guard. He knows that all this stuff, but he wouldn't know about her leaving and all. I mean, he wouldn't know the whole story. Not everybody knows the whole story about everything, and definitely doesn't know the Sabine Ahsoka story.
Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Okay.
So there was. What's that?
I said, you know what I mean? Right there, is it like he wouldn't know that? He had to be in her head to know that, right?
To read her thoughts and read her emotions.
Yeah,
sure. It would have to be
that statement though. That statement that he made about, I don't know. There's something about where her family had died and Ahsoka dropped her right around that time. Or I'm like, okay, there has to be more to this. We need more to this.
Yeah, because your family died on Mandalore and your master basically failed you and left you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that's the Night of 1,000 Tears, which happened after the fall of after the fall of the Republic, somewhere after the final episode of Clone Wars. I don't know.
This would be after Rebels.
Fuzzy, and you're right, after Rebels, because that was season 3 of Rebels when they went back to Mandalore. So
this is
in a 3-year gap.
Bo-Katan's fall. Well, it could have been a little later because we don't really know when that happened yet. We're kind of screwed on that because Gideon could have been doing that during A New Hope and Empire, right?
Yeah,
that could have been all happening on Mandalore. We don't know what was going on there.
We need this ultimate timeline. I'm telling. We need this ultimate timeline that we can move
of events, not movies.
Of events. That's
events.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So do you think he never even talked to Anakin before? He's just saying that to get into Ahsoka's head, or
maybe because the next thing he said, well, everybody knew Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah,
not necessarily
everybody in the order knew,
right? Or even that he knew me. I think I just feel like he was manipulating them. It's
okay, good. Okay, so when we circle back to that, I'm gonna think about that. Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, we're way ahead because we got
but that's good because that's preparing preparing me for disappointment. But let's talk about Marrok and the whole see again, like Chris brought up, tons of lightsaber battles in this whole thing. Great fighting in this whole episode, which was like on edge. Didn't even need that much dialogue, but again, reinforces my love for Shin. I still love her. It's just so good. When Marrok and Shin confronted Ahsoka and Sabine, it was a great shot. Like the face off.
Can I say one thing? If I say anything in this show, is I love the samurai showdown type.
Yeah.
I mean, the battle, the falling leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is just so samurai-esque that even Ahsoka strike, it's like
even
Ahsoka strike, the way she holds the saber.
Yeah,
you'll hear the music change a little bit right when they're about to start before she poses out, right?
Yep. And to note that Sabine only used one saber in this whole episode instead of the two before she was using, right? So I wonder if that has to do with
Ahsoka,
Thank you. So I wonder if that has to do with like certain opponent fighting styles, like
maybe because
like
they're all using
Marrok.
Yeah, it makes sense because both of these guys play like they're a heavy broadsword, right?
Oh yeah.
They both have a heft to them, so maybe that's why she goes two-handed because she needs it. She probably realized that.
You also see before Baylan and Ahsoka start fighting that they both shift their start poses at least 3 times before they start swinging those blades around too.
Yep,
it's like they're taking the measure of each other. Where are we going to strike first? It's that whole Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul that we've been hearing about and seeing from Sam Witwer. Explaining that final battle. It's that same thing, the psychological warfare before the first strike.
Makes perfect sense, right? Like changing the pose fighting style to another pose fighting style, and then like figuring out your opponent psychologically and then on attack. That's what this episode did. Baylan did it with Ahsoka, Sabine and Shin did it. I mean, Marrok and Ahsoka, but the one of the big reveals on this one was Marrok getting cut down. All right. And at first I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe he's just a henchman, right? Like boom, he's whatever. But then that green dark mist came, pouring out of him and basically escaping, and then Shin's reaction to that. So I mean,
it was very Savage. Whenever Savage Opress was taken down in the Clone Wars, the same thing happened to him. The energy from the Night Sisters came pouring out of him. I mean, you cannot tell me that's not what this is.
Oh, it's 100%. It's 100%.
We've heard through, some of the rumors and all that about zombie troopers, so to say, the dead stormtroopers that were all in gold and blah, 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 that were all brought together with Night Sister magic. Well, I mean, it's possible they could have an army of stormtroopers brought back to life with green energy, but I think this is more badass.
Yeah, I mean, what if we get a scene like coming up in the next one where we follow that mist into some area that Morgan has more Marroks, like an army of Marroks, and we reveal
dead Force users coming back. Like we get like a DC, Black Lantern type thing, like Blackest Night situation where all of a sudden you have Kanan and whoever the hell and everybody walking around dead. Let's do that.
I mean, that would be awesome, and
every Inquisitor just comes back. Like, oh man,
I mean,
I'm good with this. Here's what I actually think. It was somebody brought back, just like you're saying, like Savage, right? But it just went back to going the other clone Kanan. I'm not over that theory yet. When I hear it scream, all I hear is Freddie Prinze Jr. He was screaming when he got cut. Oh no, not at all. I just want to say
okay.
I keep forgetting.
I didn't hear it at all.
Like I keep meaning to rewind it when I go through it. And I just keep watching it, enjoying it, and I'm like, I'll do it later. Because it's obviously not him, and I'm not going to spin my wheels on it. But
because of everything else that happened in this episode, it's kind of like we'll get to Marrok when we get to Marrok.
Honest to God, dude, how did that end up getting in the backseat of the whole convo? We're leading off with Marrok, right? I get the Hera, Sabine, lead that, get out that way, right?
Out
the way.
Yeah.
But how is Marrok number 2? I don't know, but it is.
I mean, it's because it's like okay.
Hey, but the kill was super Obi-Wan Maul kill, right? Like
really cool.
boom, right through
that one slash, and that was a cool scene, man. That was a cool scene. But
even his poses too. Even his poses before they started the duel.
Hey, they're very Darth Maul-ish. Okay, I'm just gonna say it that way. Very Darth Maul-esque battle stances and the way he,
even how he ignited the sabers.
Yes, that intro shot with the mimicking Darth Maul. It's like,
but he was just way too tall for Maul. No horn space. No, okay, I'm not going to play with that game. I'm not going to play that one. No.
Yeah,
I'm sticking with Kanan.
Are we okay if they leave it?
Yeah.
Are we okay?
Yeah. I wasn't before, but I am now because Baylan's so damn good. I could give a shit
because of what else? Yeah, because of the other characters.
Yeah.
I want to ask the pit. Are you guys okay if they leave Marrok as it's just he is a Night Sister, kind of like the Savage of the live action, and just they killed him and that's it. And she obviously was corrupted by Night Sister magic, and that was it. And he got cut down. If you're okay with it, I'm okay with it.
I don't know that his story's over, but if it is, I'm cool. If they got more, I'm cool.
That's it right there. We don't know if his story's over, but if it is, we've got more important things to
do. You think that Shin was upset that Marrok was killed because it was Marrok, or that he screamed and the gas stuff came out, right? The spirit came out, and she's like what
a revelation on that part?
Witchcraft. Yeah, the witchcraft again. She was bothered by it before. So at first I was thinking I think the general consensus is she looked upset, but I think it's because of the green.
There was definitely a shock, like, oh crap, like he's dead. And then when the stuff came out, it was kind of like that same thing. Like you said, maybe it has to do something with, like, she knew who he was, but now it's confirmed that Morgan brought him back to life, or that it was under some Night Sister kind of magic.
Because I can't think she'd be that shocked and upset that Ahsoka killed somebody. It's Ahsoka, right? She'd be like, oh shit, that was possible.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Scott Dubb, no, he can't be okay with it. He thinks he'll be back. I mean, come on, witchcraft, he'll return. Yeah, I mean, it's again, possible. They left it to where it wasn't just a cut down. There was something there,
just opened him up.
He's like a ghost on Pac-Man.
Just like the Emperor when he went down the tube. Yes, the Emperor went down the tube. The blue thing came up. This is just the souls coming out.
They left it open where we can follow the mist into some other area that Morgan has on that planet. Like,
oh my god, the beginning of next episode is just that smoke going into a cave where you see all sorts of dead things.
Wow. And another one comes alive and it goes out. It's like this ongoing.
That takes Star Wars to we're already going at different levels in this
Night Sister stuff, witchcraft, man. Yeah,
this is some cool stuff, man. This is some Dave Filoni's killing it.
Yeah, Gordon. Marrok is a Death Eater.
Hell yeah,
100%.
All right, I'm down with it.
Yeah, I'm good with that. And
Huyang is Ollivander. We're all up in Potter.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, speaking of Huyang, Huyang. I can't say his name. I still can't say his damn name. The dude
Wu-Tang.
Can take on HK.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang. That's right. He can take on HK droids and live. That's freaking impressive.
He's got some skill. He got some moves.
I loved the two extra arms, and I love that he pulled the powers because he knew Ahsoka would know there was a problem.
Man,
that was awesome on his part. Awesome on Ahsoka for immediately that wouldn't happen, and just jumping on it. I love that trust between the two of them.
Everything that droid has done so far has been epic, and telling them you need to go to get promise me you'll stay together. Yeah, you're much better together than separate. Yeah. So
Ryan Smith, dude, was throwing hands. Yeah, droid on droid violence. I loved it, dude. I just loved it. It was good.
That was great. I loved it.
13 podcast. What's up, guys? I thought Huyang was gone, I mean, there's a lot of moments in this episode where because nothing's safe. No one's safe. But we really haven't discovered that no one's safe.
Huyang needs to end his time with this show going with Luke. That's what needs to happen.
Cool. Yes.
Yeah, he'll be so excited to a new master. Padawan.
I agree.
School.
I agree.
That'd be cool.
Papa Schmitty, stay together. Immediately split up.
Immediately.
What happens? Go ahead. I got this. Yeah, and then of course the whole Sabine Shin's showdown too which is cool. Dude, one of the favorite parts when Sabine gets knocked out or knocked off, and she throws her hand. She throws her hand, and Shin flinches, and then like a normal like a reaction to a force push or something. And she's like, "You have no power, right?" And
Yeah.
Sabine uses what I've been telling Sabine to use is just you're a Mandalorian. Be a Mandalorian. Like, come on.
And then she did.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like,
like,
again, everything I was so concerned about had an answer. I was like, yeah, boom, boom, boom. But her flinch on that was awesome.
Did you there was a flinch? Did you feel she used something? It made a sound.
No, it did. I think it was just for drama. I don't think anything. I don't think anything happened.
See, it's really hard to use that for drama, right? Because it sounded like
it didn't feel right.
Yeah, but
because of Shin's reaction. You know what I mean?
And the sound effect seemed wasted on that if it wasn't there. Like, don't put the sound effect there if it wasn't. I felt like she got to a 0.5.
she got a boink.
Yeah, and Shin was ready for more. And she's all, that's it. And
her nose got booped.
But yeah, I mean that is probably the moment that the show's waiting for Sabine's force powers to come to fruition, because if they did it right there, it would have been a cool thing. Like, it was so weak, but it needs
to be Ezra pulling it out of her. Yes, but
it was that moment.
The great Ezra pull out is what we're looking for.
Whoa. But it would also confirm us right away that CB. There it is. The force. It's there, but little. So.
It's going to be the final episode. If she has force powers, it will be the final episode before we see it.
Like I said, dude, she's a Mando and be a Mando, which that's what she did. She, obviously. And then guys, I mean, I know I'm jumping ahead, and we'll have an overall talk and everything too, but let's do the whole Ahsoka Baylan confrontation, and we can get to this whole thing about Baylan getting into Ahsoka's head on this talk, because one of the best things besides the saber fight, which was like, I have to rank this one now up high. The way Baylan was muscling Ahsoka, where he just took that saber and just kind of like a little bit of effort and just went boom. No, you're not getting the upper hand, and like
his face would get angry. It was so good.
And Ahsoka knowing that, and then she started to use that at event, like flipping off of. Yeah, using a force, but flipping off of columns to get extra, momentum and stuff was so good,
Yeah, the choreography in this one was it's honest to God, like they would figure out. They probably did the whole animation, like that's what we do in Clone Wars or Rebels, right? Let's set it up that way.
That's it, man.
And then let's make it happen in live action, because we'll do it ridiculous and make it cool here, and then we'll just make it look that cool there.
Right.
They did.
They did make it cool, man. And like I said, Baylan's fighting style was just like, wow, this is awesome. Even the way he just like held it high, and he was just like a tower. He was just a tower.
Yeah.
He's and then of course his performance and everything, and the dialogue that Baylan is doing. Anakin spoke highly of you, and then Ahsoka throwing his face. Funny, he never mentioned you. I mean, I saw that coming a mile away. The quib, but.
For sure.
And then the whole thing about like he's saying everybody in the order knew Anakin, and few were to survive to see who he became. So I kind of taken that as like Baylan saw Order 66. Everybody knew Anakin. He followed the story. He knew that everybody knew Ahsoka was his apprentice, and she left. But it was that whole moment where she left the order, and then not too far after Order 66 happened, right? That whole thing. So I don't know if everybody knows this real story, that it got around that why Ahsoka left. That's why he threw it in her face. But I am kind of getting more buying into the fact that Baylan can peer into, just like what Kylo was doing, peering into their minds and reading their visions. I don't know about planting visions, but extracting.
No, he's using it against. He's manipulating.
Yeah.
Maybe poking into it a little bit with the Force, but he's definitely pulling out what would hurt him.
I like that.
Anakin would hurt Ahsoka. Ezra and Ahsoka would hurt Sabine
100%.
But again, yes, he might know a little bit about the history of Ahsoka, Anakin, but the dark side part, the Vader part, not everybody knew that.
It's like I know enough to where to look.
That was a deep secret. Only a few people knew, right?
That's
I mean,
right.
I think the comics are kind of effing that up a little bit, but nobody's supposed to know Anakin's Vader.
Yeah.
And nobody, who the hell would know that Sabine was training with Ahsoka? She has like no force powers. And how would they know that Ahsoka left her and lied to her? And how would they know that that's the reason that the Night of 1,000 Tears? None of that. He had to extract that.
Yeah. And this is not a tangent. This is real. Okay. So in the Battlefront games, when you actually go do the whole force into somebody, and it's an actual like freezing of time, and you actually relive those moments.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Okay.
But that's a different one. Remember, Kylo has to like forcefully do that. He's fighting people to go in there. He's extracted. He's just dude sitting there talking to Ahsoka, pulling stuff out. It's not. Like, it's almost like type of.
It's almost like that ability. You touch an object and you kind of feel all the emotions on it, but he's reaching out with the force and using that too. You know,
it's something just different. They just use the force different. His power is a little bit different.
Yeah. Miss Sunflower, I'm still confused by what Baylan and Shin want from Thrawn. Well, I think we'll get into that because he said, because Ahsoka was confronting, it's like, you want Thrawn to come start another war, and Baylan's like, well, Thrawn he'll start a war. But I need this to happen for the greater good. There is something behind his motivation more than just helping Morgan out. He obviously sees something or knows something what's happening. I don't know if it's relatable to sequel stuff, or is it something that's going to be, come to fruition and then get destroyed through this in the movie when this is all wrapped up, like that verge of something big happening, and then that's more interesting to me than like the First Order rising. But there is definitely some motivation there on that group,
I think it's weird they use 2 Thrawn books as phrases in this when Greater Good and Heir to the Empire got brought up in here. Just I don't know how often those 2 phrases come up in the same show, but those are both Thrawn books leading me somewhere.
Yeah. Gordon saying maybe status in the new Empire. Yeah. I mean, a position,
I think there's Force stuff in this region. They know it. I think he's taking some fairy tales, right? They're talking about the path to Peridia, fairy tales the Padawans told at the temple. There's Force stories about this other galaxy. I think that maybe he thinks there's something over there in these fairy tales that's true. Since Peridia
something over there, something over there. And Thrawn is the key.
And we've talked about the Starforge first, right? That's possible too. Like if there's some other story he knows about Revan being in this other galaxy, creating the Starforge, that could happen as big power over there, or something he just knows force-wise that's hidden over there that he can go take advantage of and really rule.
The greater good. That's what he's, that's the key. The greater good in his mind. What's the greater good over what the Empire was, what their new Republic.
And it seems like not okay. There's this thing now. I don't know if this was his attitude or him poking in Ahsoka when he was saying how her legacy is death and destruction like your master's. Wouldn't that be his legacy of death and destruction? Isn't that weird?
Certain point of view, I guess.
I've never seen Ahsoka's as death and destruction.
No.
Vader, sure.
Unless you talk about specifically Vader, exactly. Yeah. Or is he talking about the Jedi Order as a whole and their part in the Clone Wars? And a lot of people rewatching the Clone Wars, you see how a lot of people, even Jedi like Barra Safi, here she comes in conversation again, thought that the Jedi were the problem, that they were not instigating the war, even though a couple of them did. It's
the title of the
legacy is there.
It's Fallen Jedi, and that can mean Baylan, Ahsoka, Anakin. It can mean a lot of things.
Every Force user in this one that we know of either left the Jedi or never became a Jedi.
Oh yeah,
right. And
yeah. That's true. Hence Fallen Jedi, right?
All of them. Like there's a Night Sister and I guess the Inquisitor would have been at some point before being.
I'm hoping that we do get backstory from Baylan. Like I don't want it in a comic. I don't want it in a book. I want it here. I want to know things more and more about like I said, his motive and his reasoning behind leaving the Order. And he even said it to Morgan too. It's like when she says, "Have faith," and he said, "I lost that a long time ago." So that's like it's that Dooku mentality a little bit,
right.
I wonder if he had some sort of influence, or Dooku had some sort of influence over Baylan, and it was like this.
This is Rael Averroes' apprentice.
Right? Yeah.
Dooku's other branch.
Yeah, I mean that would be a good revelation, and I think it's cool that the series is presenting this. It's not a linear series. There's so many things. It's like a Stephen King book. There's so many things going on that all come.
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts, which is so great because it gets us talking on so many different points and levels. Baylan is not just a robotic character. There's a lot to it. somebody said in the comments, let me find it here. It was Gordon was saying like maybe like what Chris was saying, like maybe there is some force powers that he can use selfishly, as a Sith, or maybe wants to be a Sith. I don't know. It's very cool, and I'm curious to see where they go with it. I just hope that I hope that we do get to find out. It wasn't something that was long-term plan. So
let's talk about the map. How about the map?
That
was pretty.
Which
cool.
is okay. I absolutely love the fact that this is how it was used, and shot by shot, and how it was edited. Meaning, they put the map down. They brought the Eye of Sion down in line. Shot the coordinates through Sith witch magic. I was
into technology.
Yeah, and
right?
I was like, okay, I'm cool. So in. I found it very smart. I found it like a very smart way of this sequence,
and here we go again, using this technology that feels and looks just like old Star Wars. It just feels like it fits right in where it's supposed to, like it should. So that shouldn't be a big surprise.
But it is, right?
Right.
Sometimes.
Especially after because the sequels, the technology in the sequels didn't quite feel right. Everything felt it's like the stormtroopers and their blasters felt really plasticky, and nothing quite felt like it had weight and heft and a bit of reality to it. This just still it was the Apple version of the Star Wars universe is what we got in the sequel trilogy. We're back to using good old Commodore 64s here, man.
Yeah, man. And the whole blend of fantasy and sci-fi, the magic, like I said, the map and shooting the coordinates. And I thought that was, like I said, smart. The Eye of Sion coming down into the atmosphere to get those, and
the up and down shots of the Eye of Sion around this planet and taking off were
Let's just look at this right here. I mean,
come on. So good, man. It was good. When Dave Filoni said that he figured out a way to bring Thrawn and Ezra back, well, goddamn, he did. So yeah, and it wasn't just a real easy plot point. I mean, on the surface, it was like, they built a ship to go get them, but it's like there's so much to it. There's so many parts to this. Like I said, it made a very, very smart way of doing a very smart sequence. But the showdown between Ahsoka and Baylan, and that I think there was about a 1 minute of silence and them facing off. And Ahsoka and slowly circling and then glancing at the map, glancing back at him, glancing at the map, and then they're switching, stances. I was like, I'm so glad Star Wars is here. This is the only reason I'm here. The only reason, this is Baylan talking, right? The only reason I'm here is to secure the future.
What does that mean?
Yeah, the greater good, the future, the Thrawn's return. And that's when, Ahsoka's told him, it's like, you're here to start another war. And he's like, well, no, Thrawn will do that. I'm cool with that, but I've got other stuff to do.
Yeah,
I just want to either that or he just wants to be there for it. I don't know.
Just the sheer aggression and the sheer weight of every swing he took and how it was weighing her down. Mm-hmm. You could see it. It's you. I haven't seen a power duel like that since Darth Vader. Darth Vader had those hits. Nobody else did. Everybody in the prequels were very elegant with their movements and all that. They weren't just blunt force. It wasn't blunt force trauma with a lightsaber. Kylo had a little bit more of that too, but there was still a little bit of elegance to what he wielded. Baylan is just pure power, and it was stunning to watch.
Yeah, this guy is what Anakin should have grown up to be.
But
everything.
And I also got
not only was he like blunt force and power,
pure power. Yeah.
He had a couple of flips in there too, where he was
did
midair flipping and swinging midair. So
I also
he was agile too.
Yeah, I also got the feeling like Baylan wasn't on. He was like half level. Only he was only fighting half of his strength to Ahsoka. I don't know if they were you know, if he wanted to kill her or was trying to kill her or just stalling enough for the coordinates and all that stuff. So.
I don't think he wanted to until the end, whenever, you know, she grabbed and moved once she took the map off the thing, now he's just pissed.
Yeah.
He even said it didn't have to come to this.
That's true. You know? That's what I'm saying. It didn't. It's like he knew, you know, I'm going to have to kill Anakin's Padawan here.
Yeah.
Someone said, I forgot who it was in chat. Nobody throws rocks at Ahsoka. Nobody. I thought that was funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, so that was cool too. You know, her burning her hand on the map and stalling for a little bit, and then Miss Sunflower said, she said, funny enough, it actually annoyed me was when the droid answered moments when Morgan asked how long before they finished the calculations. Yeah, because moments could be 2-3 minutes.
5 minutes.
2-3 minutes.
It's a snarky droid. Just moments. Back off. That's what it is.
Soon.
Soon. When will it be now?
Yeah.
So yeah, this happened,
guys.
I mean, and Zamphotis Nick in the comments said wasn't a little on the nose with Ahsoka falling. I don't think
Ryan Smith who nailed that too.
Yeah. I don't know if it was quite what they were going for. I mean, that is awfully literal for Star Wars. You know, the show that can't put 2 episodes in a row that take place in the same time period. I think that that's a little on the nose. I don't think it was. I think it was talking about Baylan, and in some ways, I want to say Ahsoka, but in some ways also, even though she's not really a Jedi, Sabine, because I mean, Sabine did. She, for all intents and purposes, gave in to her emotions, which a Jedi is not supposed to do. And she is, I mean, she was already called a Padawan by Ahsoka in the series. So
I don't see her as a Jedi at all. Not even close.
I don't either. But she does call her a Padawan.
But Ahsoka and Baylan, if they're being equal to me, because they just took different paths after leaving the Order. I would say that. What I find interesting is they used Fallen Jedi as a title. Right, so that had me thinking it was Cal Kestis as Marrok for a minute. By the way,
right,
and then
really?
But they used they've used Master and Apprentice too, right? Like they use a lot of stuff that's already been used as titles. Two of the 4 titles have been books or video games.
Yeah,
that was weird.
That's right.
But yeah, as soon as I saw Fallen Jedi, I'm like, I said Marrok's going to be Cal. I was wrong this whole time, and then he went yelling like that.
Yeah, and then the literal Ahsoka falling.
Yeah.
Miss Sunflower with the question of the day, and I think we'll close the talk about this too. Is did she die? Question.
But did you die?
Yeah, but did you die?
Same.
Was she all the way dead or just mostly dead?
Yeah. But before we get to Ahsoka, that cliffhanger right there,
it's gonna take an hour.
It will. We got to get to Sabine, you know, and her decision. You know, she survived the battle with Shin, comes over there and distracts Baylan enough, but also kind of gets Ahsoka knocked off the cliff there. If he wasn't going to cut her down, I don't know. Again, you know, that's that up in the air, right? Sabine, you know, distracted with the map, with the gun to the map. And this is where it gets interesting, you know. Besides Ahsoka falling off, it gets interesting with the Baylan going into Sabine's world, like you said, you know, into her head, convincing her, because I believe he convinced her to hand it over, and it could be for a couple of reasons. Okay, it could be for that direct reason, the what is it? The obvious reason of Ezra is the only person in my life. You know, I just saw Ahsoka quote unquote die. Forget about Hera, everybody else that she's around, but I need Ezra in my life, right? That's kind of like a weird notion. Or was this like it goes harkens back to Ahsoka's talk to Sabine at the beginning, saying like, if we can't have the map, then nobody can, right? So is this the way she knows Sabine's outnumbered, she's not going to make it out of here alive? Is this her way of like, if they're going to get to him, at least I can be there too? You know, like I'm going with them, so maybe I could stop them on that side of the universe or the galaxy at this point.
Maybe she thinks all she needs is Ezra, and they
maybe
can stop him.
Maybe there's whatever Baylan's after. Maybe Sabine can use it. I mean, there's could be a lot of things there, right? It's So on one hand, she gave it up to preserve herself or preserve her own selfish reasons of being with Ezra. On the other hand is I get to go with you and I could be there to fight on that side and maybe prevent whatever, you know, which is, like I said, a great parallel, a great like cliffhanger to speculate on, you know?
Yeah. I agree. And that's tough. That just had me twist. That's why I came up. That's why I was thinking about the Force stuff, right? Because I can't see her just willingly giving up or even turning on Ahsoka. I don't know, man. That was
I mean, Sabine. She doesn't even know if Ezra's alive,
right?
And to give up that, like, okay, here's the map because I gotta have Ezra, and that's what Baylan was playing on. You know, Baylan was playing on that emotion. You know,
you felt like I said. I think he knows that's the only thing that could bring her.
Yeah,
you know. And
Ahsoka's talk at the beginning of, look, there might be a time where we have to let that go. You know, and let Thrawn and Ezra just be lost forever.
So she's like, "F it, this is my one way there."
Yeah, exactly. Like you guys are gonna do this without, like, you guys are gonna win no matter what. At least I can be there, kind of deal.
Maybe stop you then, turn Ezra with me, and then I have a Jedi.
Yeah, knowing
I just lost my only Jedi.
That's what I'm. Yeah, that's like the greatest.
She needs a new one.
Part of this.
Yeah.
I don't know if a laser blast was gonna break that thing anyway. I mean, it took a while for that saber to break it.
That was cool.
That was very cool. But Sabine overcame. You know, she gave in and gave Baylan the map, and they got the coordinates. Man, again, the Empire strike. Everything's working against the heroes in this whole episode.
Yeah,
which is great. You know,
for
story wise, it's great.
Now I've all of a sudden got a really bad feeling about what we're going to see whenever it comes to Ezra. I do not think, especially now that Sabine has, she's fallen. You know, she gave up and she went with them in order to save Ezra. I don't think it's going to go the way she's hoping it's going to go.
I agree with that too. Yeah, there's I don't think Sabine's that smart to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Don Ramon checking in here. 3-prong reference. Baylan is the fallen Jedi. Ahsoka literally fell, and Anakin is the fallen Jedi of all time.
Yeah,
true stories.
Absolutely.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, I questioning Sabine's motive here. That's she had nothing to live for. She could have just blasted the map and gotten killed. You know, she saw Ahsoka, like I said, die. She knows she wasn't going to get out of that situation alive anyway. So, like I said, maybe that's that point. It was like, well, Ezra's our last chance.
Survive to fight another day. I turn Ezra back. Blah blah. Or I bring Ezra with me. Yeah.
And that's probably what her motive is on this whole thing. You know, they obviously went there and she's with them. So that part of it, like the Eye of Sion, I mean, they get in the coordinates and Hera showing up. Hera's showing up with Carson and the X-Wings, and the Eye of Sion is
coming out of the atmosphere. Let's block his path.
Block his path, yeah, because they don't know what it is, if it's a ship or they're just like, we're just block. You know, no one's gonna do crazy enough to do the holdo maneuver. It hasn't been invented yet.
Because it'll destroy. It'll kill them all. You can't crash. It'll kill them all.
Yeah. But because it's a ring,
I'm not gonna lie. You know, having just backed the ghost, there was a minute where my butthole clenched just a little bit, thinking, "No, come on."
I was so excited, Scott. I was like, "Oh, kill it, kill it." Let me see. I said, "Oh, I love it." Every time they do a HasLab, I want the ship destroyed. It's so awesome. That should be the thing.
Yeah, that would have been, ouch. That wouldn't have been, but that whole thing where Morgan, says like, just make the jump, to
ignore them.
You got the coordinates and they're right in the way. And that was cool too, man. That was
her delivery was awesome on that.
Yeah.
F them.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
You're in our way, man. And
I love the bad guys.
What a great scene, dude.
Yeah.
Because again, they accomplished their goal, they're going to get Thrawn. They're going to get him. They accomplished the goal. And this whole thing is, like I said, the very dire situation of where our heroes leave us. Hera almost dies. Ahsoka's quote unquote dead. Hera doesn't even know what the hell is happening. She doesn't know Sabine was on that ring either,
Right. 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 Huyang doesn't know what's going on.
No, Huyang doesn't know.
No, he was trying to page him.
Yeah, he's Lady Ren, Lady.
I kind of felt I was like heartbroken for that moment, because we saw that moment of Ahsoka falling, and that when it's that Zeb moment, where's Kanan?
Yeah.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah, sorry.
That's one of the worst Star Wars things ever.
Because at the time I'm like, oh, Ahsoka's not dead. Like, oh, she's just laying in. She just did the Aragorn thing, laying in the.
She's holding on.
Yeah, she's holding on
to the side of the cliff. Yeah,
that's what I figured. We're gonna see her climb up to the top, and then we're gonna meet up with Hugh. We're fine.
And I know I'm
expect what we saw.
Yeah, and I know I'm jumping to this, but when it came. When that transition came and we got Ahsoka and she stands up and it's the world between worlds, I was just like, I wish I got some explaining to do.
Yeah, I wish I had a way to put the picture of that transition, because that was a great transition to
that was wild. The way the ocean waves just kind of float onto the path that she's lying on. Yeah.
Yep. Like, where is whoa? And as soon as it started glowing under her, I'm like, oh my God, they're in there.
They're in there.
Okay. Yeah. So all right. I know I saw early on. Somebody said, was Chris okay?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Everybody they know I hate this.
Yes.
I'm okay.
I was expecting it. I was expecting to log on to our personal chat and see both of you guys just going, God damn it.
Well,
I'm okay right now until they prove me wrong. That's where I'm at. Right now is how I see this. It's Force Ghost Heaven. So I'm okay.
I have a couple things. All right. Okay. Well, the biggest question is, how did she get there? And did she really die? And if the world between world is the in between, or where Force users go to be part of the Force, become one with the Force, and they could interact with certain things. That's why Obi-Wan could,
that's how they show up. They walk through the doors.
That's how they show up. Yeah. And so that's one way of thinking, because of Anakin's, what he said here. I didn't expect you so soon.
Yep. Yeah. You're going to die eventually. You're going to be here eventually. Guess what? You're here.
Yeah. By the way, Anakin's freaking Skywalker. Okay. But, so there's that where, how does she get there? Was she pulled into this by Anakin? But that dialogue kind of it's weird, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did she get pulled into like Ezra did, or how Ezra pulled her into it the first time? Or is because she was pulled into it, now does she have a permanent connection to the world between worlds where she can kind of like travel where Force ghosts travel, but also on the our plane too? She's not dead, but I don't know.
Whatever happened to her on Mortis kind of makes her walk in both
worlds kind of deal. That would be cool too.
Interesting. That would be cool.
And
a lot of explaining.
There is a lot, dude. There is a lot here, but this also kind of does, it can explain how she can get to where Thrawn and Sabine are. You know what I mean? They've destroyed the map. There's no other way to get to where they were. Nobody knows how to do it. If this is the way, now Sabine's gone. They're they're over there by Thrawn and Ezra. This is the way for Ahsoka to travel through time and space to get to where Thrawn's at, or to Ezra. Maybe by focusing on where Ezra is through this world between worlds, and then she travels there through this world between worlds to get there. That's like the only way I can think.
Like the wolves can do it, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think, but we're also at a place, a special Force place right now too. We have to realize where we're at.
We don't know all the rules.
We don't know where we're at, what the rules are, what kind of pool she fell in. She fell into. She magically, the Force made her fall into a hole. What happened to be the world between worlds door. I don't know. It's weird. I just think she has access because she's been there in the Mortis stuff she's been through. I think that's where she's at. It's weird though. Or no, that's not actually what I think. I think if she's alive, that's what I think. I think she's dead.
If she's alive, that's what I think. I think she's dead too. And a couple reasons, and I know I was talking to somebody. Well, I was talking to somebody about explain dead. I have to define it first. But someone goes, well, what about Ahsoka season 2? I'm like, well, that's not on the books. That's not a confirmed thing. This could be a one shot where we see the next 5 episodes where this is her role now as that user to Ezra and Sabine to fight what's going on. This could be that powerful moment where we wanted Luke Skywalker to be in Rise of Skywalker. this is Ahsoka's moment. That's why the series is called Ahsoka. I mean, a lot of these things go through her head because they introduced this now. Now I have to visit this in my head. I have to go there.
I have to think about it.
Yeah, but like, wow. I don't think Anakin pulled her through the world between worlds on that moment because of, again, I didn't expect to see this soon, because that is the world between worlds, as far as we know, are ripples in the Force on like major events on people's lives that you can see, you can, and obviously interact with.
And how would Anakin get into the world between worlds anyway? I mean,
and that's the Force ghost kind of thing, where
the Force ghost connection.
And I'd say that because there's a point where they talked about in one of the first point of view book, right? They had a really good thing about how when you die, the Force goes. Oh, or was that an Empire one? Either way, it was one of those ones, right? And they talk about when you die, the time doesn't matter, and you can go in between time, front and back. Remember how they ghosts?
Yes.
They don't age. Time is different. That's the world between worlds to me now. That's how I kind of think that. And now that's where we just happen to be in the department where we're in the Force ghost area. There's no portals here. I didn't see any portals.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Not at all. So, I was looking too. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just in a different place in the world between worlds. We're where the Force ghosts live.
Right. So, Miss Sunflower, maybe this is where Ahsoka would transition to Ahsoka the White.
I mean, if we didn't already have that scene, that probably would have been a solid,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we already passed that. It's so weird. It's I think she's dead because it makes sense. But how can she be dead, Marco? I mean, I can't have
only
the next
4 episodes into her series.
Yeah, I can't have 4 more episodes with her as a ghost, but it makes sense.
Exactly. This is Dave Filoni we're talking about. And again, we weren't promised a season 2. We didn't, but we weren't. They didn't say it was a limited season either. You know what I mean? So, and it does make sense for the future because she hasn't. We don't see her on the sequel front. We don't do this,
but we hear her voice in Rise of Skywalker.
You hear her voice in Rise of Skywalker. I mean, it's there, right?
This might be one of those things like in a show when you see, it's not your time. I need you to go back. You finish this up, and if she dies in air to the
Empire. It's a temporary thing, right? Like you're dead, but you got to go back for this one last mission, and you come to us when you're done. Like you come back to Anakin when you're done.
Yeah. You're in the cosmic next week, the living force right now, or whatever the hell, cosmic force.
Yeah.
Right. Next week we come back and the title card says Sabine instead of Ahsoka.
But I mean,
the Mandalorian.
But it's got us talking, man, and it's got us theory crafting like you wouldn't believe, that's what's great. Now,
and not even good ones at this point because there's nowhere to go. I don't even know. We had really solid ones until today.
Yeah, you're right. You're right because it's been very kind of like, okay, I can see where they're going, but it's kind of not impactful. Like this is impactful. Now, this Eye of Sion, went to the coordinates with the bad guys. They're going to get Thrawn. Ahsoka's in a world between worlds, and we know that you could travel through time and space. Again, like I said, maybe that's the way of Ahsoka joining the fight out there. Now, do you think the fight will never come back? It'll remain out there.
I said that a while ago, and I said that a few episodes back, and I don't see how that would work because then you're losing half the cast of the show.
But Hera's still alive for Rise of Skywalker.
She is.
Huyang is still alive for Luke.
But you don't have the crossover.
But you don't have them. Yeah, you don't have the crossover anymore. You don't have all the characters there. You don't have Luke and Leia and the ability to bring all the legacy characters in.
Or even the Mandalorian guys. You'd have to cross over
I think
Carson and Mando, Grogu. These guys all have to. Even if the legacy guys don't, those guys have to.
Okay.
I think we're going to end up getting and this is probably completely wrong. I think we're going to get an episode of Ahsoka and Anakin, coming to terms with what's happening while some action happens off in the other part of the galaxy. And then everybody comes back, say episode 6 or 7.
Well, we need it.
A big blowout.
We need it. We need it. And don't like I said that because like I said, I put it in my head like, okay, you could still have the fight. Now Hera might be done on this fight. Like I said, does Thrawn ever come back? And that's where I was kind of getting a little nervous with it. It's like, does he ever come back? Do they confront him out there in that galaxy? And the big fight comes back, and then and then who dies? And
Baylan just trashed the map too, right? Yeah. So this is going to be a one-time round trip. And when they get back here, the Eye of Sion's going to get blown to shit. And then we're not going to have this, the intergalactic stuff is done. Because we won't be able to do it.
Yeah, and Dark Joseph is saying that's is why, and it said that's why I feel like Star Wars multiverse is going to happen. Well, this is the danger of between worlds. That's where we don't want it to happen.
I wanted to establish some rules of non-change, but we've already kind of broken that since Ezra pulled Ahsoka.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's really hard to establish any rules that won't change time. I don't know if it has to multiverse necessarily, but it can just change time, I suppose.
Well,
more Back to the Future than Flash.
Yeah. It's just because
every channel, I wonder. Okay,
done, and I feel Star Wars shouldn't do that.
But the future is always in motion, right? So I wonder if in the world between worlds they can show that like different things that will happen upon different paths.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Sure,
like possibilities.
Yeah. That would be the thing. Like if Yoda's meditating on like we did in Attack of the Clones and even on Empire Strikes Back, or even Luke tapped into it when he's seeing the world between worlds, and that's the seeing the future is part of
that's how I see it.
Which is always, like I said, always changing. I always thought like I would have liked it to be like it's ripples in the Force, main events that are happening. When Rey touched the saber in Force Awakens, she heard everything that went on. She heard the battles, she heard Vader, she heard Luke, Yoda, they heard all these things. And I thought those were all those ripples in the Force, those major timeline events, what we didn't see in what Filoni gave us was anything future, because it's almost like the events happening now in the past. It was always past events, wasn't it?
No. Whenever Ezra was in the world between worlds, you could hear Rey, you could hear Kylo, you could hear future stuff happening from the
Luke, Han, everybody. You can hear the trilogy, and they weren't there yet.
Okay.
So. No.
Well, damn it. That's another thing I don't like. I don't like fate, in Star Wars.
But it's not like that moves though. Those just happen to stay the same things. They could have said different stuff. Yoda says, right? He's all because that could be changed. The future can be changed. Nothing else.
Right. Always in motion. The future is, or
always in motion. That's
in motion, or always in motion.
Always in motion.
In motion.
In motion is the future.
In motion. Right.
Yeah.
So
I think when I was younger, I thought it was emotion, and then over the years, you realize
I think so too.
It's in motion. Yeah.
Our chat is going off kilter right now with this talk.
I love it.
Timeline talk. This is why the fandom can't have it, because look, our chat's going to go nuts. If our chat can't handle a multiverse or has this much discussion about it, imagine the rest of the planet.
Yeah.
Boom.
You always have it in the back of our heads too, is what we're being presented on as a global market of Star Wars. Is not this. Ahsoka is not a story just for the people who've seen Rebels. This is a story that people who are watching Mandalorian and everything moving on. So
that's a point. It's difficult I think it might be kind of hard for some people through at least the first few episodes.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody. I go, I said for the people who have consumed it, we understand, and we're still piecing things together, but we understand these characters and where they've been, where they're going, all these things. For the people who are introducing, I'm hoping that it's introducing them in a way that's it's making them curious. But we also have to see by the end of this where it all, because again, Dave Filoni is smart. He's a smart creator. He's not going to just throw out these things and I don't think he'll overly explain it, but I think there'll be enough to where theories will work in people's heads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
the world between worlds will have to be explained next week.
It has to. At this point, like we said, dude, we told him, we told Dave to drop it. You know what I mean? We said drop it.
That son of a bitch brought it back, and now he has to
he ignored our notes, our red lines
totally.
On it.
Yeah, he listens to most things we say. Totally cool, but he blew it with his WBW.
He didn't ignore it. He just kind of kicked the walls down, set a fire to it, and throwing Anakin Skywalker in there. I mean, he blew it up. What the hell is it? Is it even the world between? We said it. Is it even the world between worlds?
Yeah.
Is this the cosmic force? What is this?
And how did she?
What are we looking at here?
Yeah.
And how?
So many questions.
She died.
Exactly.
So many questions.
I'm. That's what I'm saying, man. I know people in the chat are talking about Yuuzhan Vaughn, something about bringing, like, not just Thrawn will come back. It's Thrawn plus, not on Thrawn's side. It's Thrawn
with
plus
an army.
Whatever. Yeah, Yuuzhan Vaughn, the Grisk, something.
The evil risen, the army of whatever she's bringing.
And the New Republic will be totally prepared for it because
getting Star Wars zombies, man.
We don't have resources to fight the Grisk and Thrawn and this people kidnapping kids around the galaxy.
Mon Mothma, what do we do?
We'll put it to a vote. I don't know. I'm gonna go.
Can't help. We can't help. I'm sorry.
Somebody get me Jar Jar Binks. Only he can make decisions.
Yeah, seriously.
Give me power.
Yeah. Why aren't we on Naboo right now finding some people that know some shit? Come on.
Right?
Yeah.
Weren't we supposed to be on Naboo? I thought, for some reason, I thought this show went to Naboo. What show's going to Naboo?
Oh, I have no idea, man. Was it Skeleton Crew? Did it start off on Naboo? No, I think it's the Acolyte. Isn't it the Acolyte?
Oh, maybe the Acolyte, but I thought it was more during this time, so maybe I must have been wrong. Or maybe just dumb rumors.
I think that talk happened with that whole Grogu leaving with Ahmed Bess's character, because it was
maybe
it was that.
So we never saw it in Mando.
We haven't seen it yet. Yeah, so it might be in Mando season 4 or never. Yeah.
Just a dumb rumor. Got it.
Yeah. It could be again.
Did we start that one?
Probably. Probably. So next week's episode is supposed to, like you said, it's supposed to be like a real, just if these haven't gotten us excited, I think next week's will, and it's going to really kick off.
If you're not excited now, I don't know what you want.
They're done.
Quite frank,
just step away.
If you're not at least like, damn, that episode was pretty damn cool. I don't care if you say it's the best thing ever, but if it's not like really cool and you want to at least watch it twice, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm just pumped.
Exactly.
Don Ramon here says, seems like they're trying to connect the sequels more than preserving Lucas era timeline. I mean, that's obviously what they're trying to do, because something has to happen to make the sequels actually work a little bit better. And
choice.
They're not completely getting rid of Lucas's. They're not getting rid of Lucas's timeline either, because you've got Anakin here with Ahsoka. That is absolutely Lucas's timeline. That's bringing the animated Lucas stuff back into the.
I think that what they're doing is they're massaging the EU to fit what they've established. We've talked about this a lot of times, where like Disney's not going to negate what they did. They're going to double down on what they did. So in the Ahsoka series, Mandalorian, all these things are going to make things make sense. That's why when we theory craft, we have that in mind. We know the end game here, but there's that 30 years in between that something major can happen. This is the Thrawn battle. This is the heir to the Empire, final death rattle of the Empire. But also there's that, again, something sinister beyond that, because we have the Emperor on Exegol at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
We have the First Order. We have the Shadow Council. We have this. Eventually the Stormtrooper First Order program is going to be implemented. There are things that are happening in the background. We still have Snoke clones in the Bad Batch. We still have Gideon successfully doing an army of super clones. We have things that are going to make the sequels make sense. I don't think there's any avoiding it. And as much as we want a Lucas era to be preserved, I think we're going to get, like what Scott said, things pulled into that and morphed in a way that it'll still be cool.
This is the Disney
get out of this era.
It pays homage to that, right? But the Rebels crew is specifically to take over the Lucas era.
Yeah.
The more and more we watch it, and more you watch Rebels, and everything you realize is between the Ghost and every character in there, it's just our people in the Disney era, because they're younger. They were animated. Now they're younger actors and stuff. We can carry on. Our people are old. Look at us. And we were born right then.
Yeah. A Night Sister magic plus cloning equals Palpatine's return. Yeah.
Boom. I mean, it's part of it. Plus Grogu's blood, plus whatever else is blood. And we're rocking and rolling, man.
Here's a couple things for Chris here. Is Chris ready for his live Thrawn reaction? Could this happen next week? And but also to the counter, is Chris going to be pre-mad for next week's episode?
If he's not on, yes. if next week is not my Thrawn reveal, at least seeing Thrawn and hearing Thrawn speak, I will be pre-mad. Yes. If we change anything in the timeline, I will come on this show pretty pissed. Yeah. So there's my thing. If we're pulling people out of World Between Worlds and changing shit and just shuffling stuff around, I'm hot.
I also want. I mean, I have this own like thing. I don't want them to be like show up and Thrawn's on a cliff, just like, what took you so long? I don't want that kind of reveal and him already just on board. Like, this is I've been waiting for you, and they get on, and then it just quickly, resolve that. I want them to search for Thrawn, and I don't want him to be like ready. I think there should be some work on that. Thrawn, long hair, Thrawn, not in, what I'm saying? I'm talking like, somebody
like
who's
the comic book, or the comic adaptation of the Thrawn book.
Like find him and convince him to come back, or find him to regain the strength. Like, this is what's happening. We're here for you. Come. I think there should be something like that versus he's already in his Admiral gear, ready to come back, like the way we left him. That just doesn't feel right.
Well,
it doesn't sit right.
He's in a Star Destroyer. I'm assuming he's going to still have power, right? And he's going to have laundry service there. He's going to have food for a whole crew that he doesn't really have anymore, probably. So he's going to be set for a while. I think he can look quite dapper. So I'm not sure why he has to be a
that logic too. He is lost in time. What if little or no time? We don't know what happens on that galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. But I mean, it would kind of like make a cool transition with that, like a cool transition. If Thrawn was,
wow,
it was almost like
they did.
It's almost like
bring up space
for
and
the first
time.
time. Yeah.
If it was slower there, time was slower there, and they had a Star Forge.
Yeah,
that would mean they could just make tons of ships.
Right,
and then shoot them. That's where the fleet, the Sith fleet, or whatever the hell, Palpatine.
Yeah,
those were built on Exegol though, so I mean, you've got to bring. Yeah,
eventually you got to bring it here. Exegol. You got to bring it to our galaxy, is what Chris is saying. You got to.
Well, I was thinking the ships bring it there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
He's right. Built on Exegol. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, built underground in Exegol.
That's dumb.
Very, very, very dumb.
That's what, and that's a good point about trying to force the issues of the sequels, because
just let it be. Just let it be.
Yeah, exactly.
No Star Force.
Yeah, I mean, that's all. That's why I am expecting an explosive show next week, but also some. I'll just watch Friends that explode real time. Yeah, pretty much. Chris won't be here in the States either when that happens. He's going to be in the UK.
It's going to be at 2.
Damn!
It'll be 2 a.m. when I watch it, or when the show. Our show will be. Wait. We're going to do the show at 8:00. Oh, it'll be 2 when I watch it.
You're 8 hours ahead.
And we'll watch it at 4 a.m. the next day. I'm not going to get any sleep for a few days. Playing with you guys.
Seriously, man.
You're going to be there, right? You're going to be here.
Oh yeah, dude. This is my Thrawn episode.
Yeah, even if he has to.
If it's not my Thrawn episode, I'm not coming the hell on. No.
What I am expecting though is I think it's gonna start right with Ahsoka and Anakin. Boom. Right into it. Boom. And we're gonna understand where she is, what's going on. And then we're gonna go to Peridia or whatever.
Well, what if it would be cool if we start with a flashback of them doing something? I don't know, if an adventure with Rex, whatever the hell, just some kind of flashback, right? But when you pan away from it, you realize they're watching it.
Yes.
Go through the whole scene and you realize that they're watching it, talking about when it was, and explaining the world between worlds and what it is.
Yeah,
and that would be kind of cool.
With Julianne saying, "Why can't Luke and Anakin meet up in the world between worlds?" Would that be even possible? This is the problem I think Chris and I have about the world between worlds, is that changing anything's possible. Changing any timelines, pulling people in and out, and it messes with so much that why even have Star Wars when you could just like disrupt the entire thing so easily?
It makes so much sense for Force Ghosts, right? Like I'm here on Dagobah, I'm here on Hoth, I'm in your head whispering to you. It makes so much sense for Force Ghosts, just nothing else.
I agree. And one thing that could be explained too is like Anakin is using us as a vision too, she's knocked out in the rocks at below, and this is a vision of hers, Anakin coming to her, but as a Force ghost, but utilizing the world between worlds as a medium. You know what I mean? She's not physically there, but it's like this projection of it.
This would solve so many of my issues I have with Anakin being a Force ghost in the first place, because of how convoluted Lucas made becoming a Force ghost. If he does it using the world between worlds, I don't know. It's still it's convoluted as hell. But
it still is.
Yeah, back in episode 3, when that was like it was almost like a end credit scene. Oh, Obi-Wan, come here. Let me tell you something real fast. Learn to commune with the dead. People long gone or whatever. That was almost like an end credit scene, where it was just dropped, but this is what you're going to do. You got some homework.
It was just so much easier when we were kids and Jedi died and they became ghosts. That's just what happened.
Yeah, you didn't have to.
Why the hell did he have to make it so damn difficult?
Yeah, didn't need no explanation. Zero.
It didn't. You just go with it. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to travel to the center of the universe and talk to weird masked people and follow little flinking lights around. But yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to jump through 10,000 flaming hoops to become a Force ghost.
Yeah. Don Ramon said Force ghosts are metaphors for wisdom of the masters, but Empire Strikes Back, Lucas gave them agency seemingly. Yes. They became a physical entity.
They're the character.
They weren't just in Luke's head, it was a physical
not a metaphor anymore. Yeah, they're there.
But
and they were questioning stuff as they were Force ghosts. Like Yoda and Obi-Wan were bickering almost, he's our last chance. Nope, there's another. It's like
But they made it was still, you died, you became a Force ghost.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Not until Qui-Gon didn't disappear in episode 1 when we questioned that. We're like, why didn't he disappear? I don't understand. If Jedis are that's the start of the whole thing. Lucas did some stuff, with that and the midichlorians. He did some things that we were just like, look, stuff. Man, you're overly explaining this stuff. Yeah. Less is more. It was perfect the way
make it magic.
It was perfect.
Magic. It's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Don Ramon, yeah, sure. It all could be in their heads. Sure. Like I said, this whole thing about Anakin coming to Ahsoka at this point too could be just a vision of hers too.
Like he's coming to her and she's in her mind because she's been in the world between worlds, so she's kind of thinking it through. Just kind of he came to her in a vision. That's the vision. Yeah,
it could be. I'm just saying, like,
or okay, I buy that because it would be kind of like a Force Connect, a Force Skype, like they would do in the sequels, right? But Anakin doing it from the other world instead of coming to her, he brings her to him.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
A reverse Force ghost.
Like we are so overthinking this. I love it.
Yeah, the whole thing is Ahsoka dead because we don't know how she got there. That's what's weird.
Right.
But this was cool too because I don't care. I mean, I care, but I'm not bothered by it this time.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting there where I'm like, this doesn't make any sense and blah 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 blah. I want to know. I know he'll explain it.
Yeah, Darth Joseph again. Yeah, Vader didn't disappear, and that again.
So we had that explained though to ourselves at least, and I thought we did through EU that Jedi can, dark side users cannot. Right? You're not pure anymore.
No, not necessarily, because of course you had of course we're also talking about comic books, and no, because like I go back to Tales of the Jedi and the Jedi Academy series where you had the spirit of Exar Kun that was influencing Kip Duron and trying to turn him to the dark side, and it wasn't. Of course, it's not Lucas that wrote those, so of course he can do anything he wants with his own baby. But everybody that died was becoming a Force ghost, light and dark side.
Right. Good night, Julie. Thank you for. I just want to throw it out there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Right, and then Darth Joseph again, but then again at the end, Anakin is a Force ghost.
I know.
Who never learned how to be a Force ghost, which is my problem.
Yeah,
but that's what
it's cool. I'm cool.
It's cool.
With it.
Yeah, I mean
that's Star Wars quirk, right? That's okay.
It.
Sometimes there's gotta be shit. You gotta have holes. It's just don't do it for a whole show.
He redeemed himself. He became a Jedi again.
You know what you do in a Star Wars show? You make the plot simple. You put in some badass villains. You make some cool, relatable heroes. You put in some cool ships, space stuff, and make people do awesome things and blow people up and slice things and make ghosts and magic. And guess what? They just did all that in this episode. That's
I love it.
Simple.
I mean,
it's great.
Hey, also visitors in this thing, we don't know really how it works. I mean, we're getting we're taking notes as we get more information, but there is we don't know the set or physics in Star Wars.
No. And again, we don't know. The War Between Worlds is tricky because we don't even know what part we're in. There's no portal, so we don't know.
It is a very, like I said, very tricky thing. And obviously Dave Filoni had no intentions when he wrote Rebels to explain it further.
Yeah.
But he wrote it in a way that, I don't know. Even if you take that away from the whole Rebels plot, World Between Worlds plot, it didn't change much. Other than Ahsoka survived. That's it.
Right. Ahsoka survived. Every time Kanan and Ezra went to the Jedi Temple on Lothal, they entered the World Between Worlds unknowingly. Right. It's like Ezra was able to communicate with Yoda through space and time, and you saw him standing on a circle of light speaking to Yoda and in space, right? Yeah. And sometimes Yoda would appear. So every time they entered that temple, he entered the World Between Worlds. And here's where I was hoping that the World Between Worlds and the portals to it were specifically on Lothal. I was hoping that's what made Lothal special. Mm-hmm. And here we are now in possibly the World Between Worlds. It's just, I can't wait for next week just so I can not get explained, but yet still enjoy whatever
it's going to be convoluted as hell. Watch, but we're just chalking up the World Between Worlds is the Force. That's it right now. That's
us physically seeing, able to see it. I'm cool with that. That's how I'm seeing it too. Or cool.
Yeah. The ability to tap into it. It's just,
I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy until he pisses me off. How about that? I'm going to try not to pre-mat it. I'm trying not to overthink it or get mad until someone says one way or the other.
I agree.
Right.
Gordon, guess the episode 5 opening scene next week. I'm saying it's going to open right where we left off. Anakin and Ahsoka talking in wherever flashback. In exactly how we left this yesterday's off.
Yep.
Okay. That's what I'm going with.
I see flashback coming and then them talking. Just like I wanted to. I think it's at least going to start with a flashback.
Yeah. I'm going with Eye of Sion. I think the Eye of Sion is going to arrive at Peridia, and that's where it's going to pick up. We're going to get the or you know what? It seems every time Ahsoka's name comes up in the opening credits, it's after, I think, isn't it after a scene with Ahsoka? So maybe you guys are right, but I'm going with
it was Baylan this week.
Was it? Okay.
He said experience. Ahsoka.
Okay.
That's how. Because it was
Eye of Sion.
Was that fear I sense in you? Experience. I love
it. Yeah, that was great.
Scene. Yeah.
How about you, Joey?
I don't know. Hopefully it starts off with them finding Thrawn. Like it starts off with them like coming out of hyperspace and bam, he's right there.
Yeah. Right. Like, I've been waiting for you. Step onto the eye.
On top of a Purgle. Where you been?
With the Salamiri around his shoulders. You've got Ezra in chains being dragged along.
She just brought one back.
I don't think they're gonna start off with them right away with Ahsoka and Anakin.
Well, the way this show's been going, that's like what I expect now. You know what I mean? Just a pick right up where we left off. Just boom, boom, boom. Especially with the caveat of next week's episode is going to be epic. And it's
here's my whole thing though with the whole thing with Anakin and the World Between Worlds is the last time when we saw someone like that appear, it was Palpatine. But remember when he appeared to Ezra, he appeared as
a young Palpatine.
Senator Palpatine. Like he was, he wasn't evil. He was just this like comforting person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Say how Anakin
that wasn't the World Between Worlds though.
But the thing is, the way I saw Miss Sunflower bring it up earlier, the way it ended with Vader's theme music, and it did end like a happy moment. It ended like there's something coming that's
that's right. Throwing in Vader's theme, it's specific.
It absolutely did. Very dark.
It can either foreshadow, and see, normally things would foreshadow stuff. You don't want to. It's nothing to foreshadow if you're talking about just a Vader turn, right? Because we've already done
bringing up the whole he had Vader's lightsaber on him. So that
I see a lot of people looking at the sabers.
Oh, really? I didn't
Vader saber. Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
Here,
see,
I'm looking for it.
All right, yeah, it's getting complicated.
I didn't see it, but I've seen it like on.
Yeah,
I've seen it on Twitter a couple of times. I've seen it.
Too.
So
I didn't even notice he had a
real or
lightsaber
not,
on him.
or what,
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
But
it shouldn't be. It honestly should not be Vader's at that moment. So
that's what I'm saying. Is it something evil that's portraying Anakin?
Let me look here.
You're right.
You brought up the world between worlds and Palpatine. Palpatine never got to the world between worlds. Palpatine wanted Ezra to get him in there. Palpatine never had access. So everything you saw Palpatine do is a manipulation of hologram. Right. It wasn't the Force. It wasn't anything
was he
special.
using
it was just
witchcraft?
Manipulated hologram. No, he
had
was
a cauldron,
literally
right?
That was when he was trying to get
scene.
in.
That was
that's literally
different episode.
I know.
Different
that's
episode.
What I'm asking about. The different episode.
Okay.
Not. I know. I kind of like jumped ahead. I'm sorry, but was he using Night Sister? Witchcraft at that moment too.
Yeah, that was a Clone Wars episode where he and Dooku were using a cauldron. There in that episode, he was just using like Force lightning almost to grab people through the
right.
It was weird. It's very, very weird.
But yeah, you're right. It was a holographic manipulation of Ezra. Wasn't
Yeah. So I don't know if, and this isn't me blowing you off, Joe. It's me just asking, can you manipulate the world between worlds like that in a dark side way? Because it seems like only the good guys, as we've established, only the good guys can become ghosts, right? Only if you work at it. Only the light-siders can go into, everlasting life of the Force. Right, that was the whole concept
premise.
Behind,
yeah.
So if that's the case, I mean, that throws everything out. I mean, that just really convolutes everything.
Yeah, dude. There's, like I said, more questions than answers.
We're in a forced place, just like the caves, like Dagobah, like everything else. Yeah, this could be some kind of weird test, I suppose.
What if she fell into the
like a dark side spot? We're in like the temple in Octo and Dagobah.
Yeah,
we're in a place like that. So
that saber thing is really important. That is
but I just looked at it's really tough to tell. Half say a couple say Vader, a couple say Anakin. But is it really important?
Yes, because if it's Vader's, then it's a projection of someone else manipulating the situation.
Yeah.
If it's
or does he's the dark Anakin? He never had that saber as Anakin, or even he died with it.
Not that saber. Oh no, I'm talking about Anakin before he became Darth Vader in the suit.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. He was Anakin. Even he was Darth Vader as a human. at a certain for an hour. You know what I mean? But he never had that saber, and I think it's important to. I think that's an important detail, but it also should have been very clear. You know what I mean? Like the camera should have focused on it or made it more clear for us to see that too, rather than I spy, something blurry in the background. That means this huge thing,
But you're talking about the people that showed us a photo of George Lucas holding Grogu with Ahsoka sitting right next to him, and nobody paid attention because it was Grogu with George Lucas. Here you've got Ahsoka talking to Anakin. Nobody's looking at his waistband going, wait a minute. Hang on. Is there a black band around that lightsaber?
Yeah. I mean, I in my head, it's a very night and day difference on like what if that's really Anakin or not, or a manipulation of Anakin. And the way Baylan was talking, and we know that the Palpatine's out in Exegol with the Sith Eternal redoing things, manipulating things around him. So that would be amazing too if they introduced the Emperor in this three-way tug of war. I would lose my shit if Palpatine and Sith Eternal came into the fray and Thrawn's returned as heir to the Empire and they had conflict. Like, 'cause I've always been talking about that for a long time because I think that's interesting to do. Not them working together, but like Thrawn being
that would mean Palpatine would have to get beat for a third time.
No, not necessarily. It could be like this it doesn't have to be a full on thing, but it's the pulling of the strings. Palpatine's pulling the strings, and you have this huge. I don't know. I mean, I think that'd be interesting to.
No, I believe that's totally possible. Yeah. I don't think there'll be I know you like.
No, it wouldn't be like a 3-3 war at this point. You know, and I think yeah.
The sunflower somehow Anakin returned.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Getting there.
Well, I'm cool with whatever they do there. If there's no twist on Anakin, they're just there to chat. I'm cool. If there's a twist with Anakin, that's a dark side ghost. I'm double cool.
Yeah.
They've been going pretty dark in this. Oh, by the way, can we talk about Ahsoka just being awesome and killing like with no regard for anything?
Absolutely.
Like,
badass.
Yeah, like, hey, let me cut this guy's head off while you pull him with the rope. You know, done.
Yeah.
No problem. Hey, while you're shooting me, let me pull your buddy over and get him blasted as a human shield. Love it.
So
cool.
So good.
And
no care.
Sabine whipping out the blasters when that fails, grabbing a lightsaber. Oh man,
everything.
Shooting at Baylan and Baylan doing the thing. Baylan's deflecting style isn't
very robotic.
Loose.
I thought it was more robot. Yeah.
It's
like
very
calculated. You know,
it's neat.
Yes.
It's
you
neat.
can see it before it happens. Like boom, angle.
So different than anybody else we've seen.
Yeah. Love it.
Well, damn, guys. I think we can call it a night, wind it down, and go home and rethink our lives a little bit, and see how tonight's talk made it better or worse or whatnot. I hope I'm so appreciative of the pit really chiming in and giving us a lot of food for thought, and making this show cool, and also the Ahsoka show cool. Like there's so much going on here. And it could be just as simple as a simple explanation, and we make it go explode. But there's a lot to go by. There's a lot. It's just that's too easy.
It just might all be what's on the surface is what's on the surface, right?
Like,
We're just
Marrok he died. He's dead. You know what I mean? He's dead. And he could. Yeah. Oh, he was a Sith witch of power. Done.
Sure. There you go.
Exactly. I mean, it very well could be. Dave Filoni is known for that too. It's like, yeah, I gave it to you.
He does love his magic stuff.
Do you want Grogu to talk? What makes you think he's not talking? I mean, so
Grogu ain't talking.
He's talking. Jesus Christ! All right.
Whenever he comes out, he's voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. Just Samuel L. Jackson is Grogu.
Please.
But anyway, yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna kick it off to Scott here to kick us out of here because you do such a good job at it, man. But again, thank you. We will see you all next week. I know Chris is gonna be up late. But
it's Thrawn. Thrawn's
Thrawn, dude. So
that's Thrawn. So my guess this week was either a Kanan, Anakin, or a Thrawn. So Kanan looks like he's probably out. We got Thrawn. We got Anakin. So we only got Thrawn left, fellas. Let's do this.
That's right.
Let's roll.
I don't know who you're flipping off there, but okay.
Baloney if I don't get Thrawn next week for sure.
I understand. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody in the pit. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. Join us next week. Of course, we'll do this all over again. Wednesday.
Look at that last comment. I want to.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to get my shirt. You guys are my favorite Star Wars podcast. Thank you so much.
We're one of our favorites. We're one of our favorites, too. We love us.
I'm not that much of a fan yet.
No, the Sarlacc Digest. We're not as good as we think we are, but we're better than most. So,
shirt coming soon.
That's right. That's right. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in, joining us for this breakdown of episode 4. Chris must use wanker at least once during his reaction. Okay,
at least
there we go.
On it.
But yeah, we really appreciate you joining us for this breakdown of episode 4 of Ahsoka. Tune in next week whenever we break down episode 5. We lose our crap as Thrawn makes his live action debut, walking across the bridge of the Sion, or braiding Ezra's hair next to a Purgle by a river. Whatever it is that he's gonna do. We'll see it. We'll see it. Something's going on. Thanks again to our pit crew. We really appreciate all of you hanging out here with us. Don't forget, log on to patreon.com if you will. Donate a couple of bucks a month. We'd appreciate that. Also, we just debuted a brand new load of merchandise in our spring store. Just scroll down there, hit that button. You can order yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie, and look,
Huyang ain't nothing to
beep with.
Boom! Look at the rhythm we got. That's what's up. Clapping on 1 and 3, fellas. Well done.
Clapping on 1, 2, 4. Let's go. Totally
Oh God.
No,
so
I'm waiting for my shirt and my mug are on the way, man.
Yeah,
Nice,
mine too.
nice.
Mine too. Also, don't forget to check out our Instagram pages where we've got Darth Moocher, also known as Tashi Station Emporium, me, the Art of Scott Solo, Grand Admiral Franz is your mama's favorite podcaster, and of course, the real JoJo Binks at bootleg _ 760 for his toy photography and all things Godzilla related, because that mofo loves his Godzilla. It's true. It's true. Also check out Ernie the Fallen Fett Chronicles, Toy Migos, They're Not Dolls, all of those other, How We Do Disney, all of his other shows that he's on, so he can't make it here.
He's working today, to be honest.
He's working
to
today?
Be fair. Yeah,
Fine,
he's on call.
Whatever.
He's saving the desert, bringing it
He is.
From another flood.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for protecting us in our water. Ernie. But also, as I said, Tashi Station Emporium. If you go to tashistationemporium.com, use the code Sarlacc Digest, and you can get 10% off of something as awesome as that wall setup and door right there. Look at that.
Those are pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, look at all those figures. Those are pretty cool too. Anyway, so what
Don't drop
else?
yourself.
I'm not going to draw myself. Log on to Facebook.com and check out the Star Wars community powered by the Sarlacc Digest podcast, and join in the conversations there. We keep it rolling 24/7 with all the Star Wars talk you can shake a lightsaber at. Also, am I missing anything else, guys? We've got Twitter, we've got Instagram, we've got TikTok with 1-minute toy reviews, our YouTube Shorts feed. Subscribe to that also, where I do a 1-minute toy review every single day. Spoiler alert, they were all recorded about 2 months ago, so I'm always wearing the same shirt. But it doesn't matter. It drops once a day, every day.
Now stop sending Scott shirts. He's got enough. He just films them all in one day.
That's right. That's right. I try and do like 15 in one day because Jesus.
That's right.
Anyway, that's it, guys.
That was a lot, man. You had me like, oh, good Lord. We got a lot of stuff going on. That's a lot of business.
We do, man. We do.
We're making $23 a month, man. I mean, like, come on.
What?
That's a lot of business.
And we want to know also, yes, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you know when we're coming. Well, I should rephrase that. Anyway,
I was going to give you a chance, but
it works with Ezra's pullout game, right?
I was doubling down. I was doubling down.
Fade to black after that. All right.
Yeah. I like how we all waited. Like
we did. You want to change that? You got time.
Nope.
That's what who said? All right.
Huyang. All right, guys. With that, Scott,
keep it nerdy, everybody. Good
Bye.
God.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. Was a fascinating play on words.